From KSMQ Television in Austin, this is On Cue, connecting interesting issues and interesting people. On Cue.
And welcome back to On Cue. We're going to talk about growth, economic development. Who's against that, right? I think everybody's for that. I'm for economic development. Heather Holmes is for it also. She's VP of Marketing for the Rochester Area Economic Development Group, which has been around a while. You're located downtown. And welcome to the show.
Thank you, Eric, for having me.
This is I'm going to say it by the READI.
RAEDI.
EDI, ready. Yeah. Tell us, what is the mission of this group? Because on Cue, on our program, we've had quite a bit with the Destination Medical Center and talk about economic growth. So our viewers might not be quite up to speed on what your group does, how you fit into the city of Rochester.
Well, RAEDI, which is READI, which we say is Rochester Area Economic Development Incorporated. So we are a nonprofit agency. What we basically do is grow the economy as best we can, bringing in new businesses into the Rochester area. We're very careful to say we are Rochester Area Economic Development. It's not just Rochester. My boss, Gary Smith, has been with READI since 1989. And basically, we look at growing the tax base. The larger the tax base, the less we hopefully all pay in taxes. The more companies we bring in, the more jobs we bring in. Those people have to shop somewhere. They're going to do their retail, hopefully in the Rochester area, so on and so forth. So we create the growing pie. That's basically the job of the economic development. And that would be basically what would be in any EDA office. Ours just happens to have a few extra letters in the acronym, RAEDI.
So are you out talking to possible employers or with city governments to help, like maybe create tax districts so you can bring an employer in?
Absolutely. We look at the legislation. We talk to local entities. We go to the Capitol. We work very closely with our Rochester Area Chamber of Commerce when it comes to those. We work with current employers, especially some of our bigger ones that are in the area and in the city of Rochester, so that we can look at areas of workforce development and how we can encourage that. Entrepreneurship is huge with the READI office. We currently, I think it's 2 years old, maybe a little over 2 years old. We have the Bio Business Center, which has our accelerator program, and the accelerator, which helps entrepreneurs by allowing them a space that they can rent. They can even rent a chair if that's all they need, but it gives them free Wi-Fi, it gives them a phone number, it gives them meeting space that's professional, so that they get a jump start and they don't have to worry about that overhead expense of an office just to have somewhere to meet. So we do a number of things to help grow the economy by allowing opportunities for small businesses and big businesses that are looking to get skilled workers.
You always hear that it's the small businesses that really grow an economy. I'm not an economist, but I know I hear that every once in a while.
It's true. I'm not an economist either. Shh. I'm in marketing. Okay. Gary does all that smart stuff. But it is true with the small businesses. We have seen with the folks that are populating the accelerator right now, we've had some companies that have outgrown in the past 2 years the accelerator and have their own space now. They're doing so well. We do a lot with we're working on regenerative medicine right now. There's a huge opportunity for the Rochester area to be the hub for regenerative medicine.
Regenerative medicine.
Regen.
See, I don't even know what that
Just
is.
say regen, it's easier. Regen. It's basic. When you have stents that are put in your heart, there's a possibility now that with stem cell research and everything that's going on with stem cells, they can grow those pieces so you no longer have to have equipment in your body.
My goodness.
It's pretty crazy.
And you have there's activity over by the airport too. It just seems like small businesses and things happening all over Olmsted County.
Well, in the Rochester area, throughout Olmsted County, there are separate EDAs. So you do have separate ones, but we all work together. And that actually is a perfect segue into Journey to Growth, because Journey to Growth is all about bringing all of these entities together at one table and having a conversation about the region instead of sticking to our borders.
Okay, that's what your new initiative is called, Journey to Growth.
Correct.
And that's a collaborative, How long will it last? What do you hope to accomplish?
With Journey to Growth, it's a 5-year comprehensive plan that's coordinated by READY, Rochester Area Economic Development, and the Rochester Area Chamber of Commerce. The idea behind Journey to Growth is to grow and diversify the regional economy. So we're not even thinking Rochester area right now, we're thinking Tri-County. Tri-County would be Dodge, Olmsted, and Wabasha. That's what is recognized as our metropolitan statistical area. So for research and analysis for Journey to Growth purposes, that's the area of focus. Again, doesn't mean we won't bleed over into Winona, even Mauer, any of the Goodhue. That can happen as well. But that's where we're starting right now with the Journey to Growth initiative.
And that means take what you have, like the Mayo model there, and grow those businesses? Or how does Mayo and the Destination Medical Center, how does that fit into this initiative?
So the Journey to Growth initiative is complementary to DMC. So when we think of DMC, that's the downtown infrastructure and the patient visitor experience that is the main focus, is their downtown footprint. So there's a whole other piece of the pie out there, the rest of us. So who's taking care of that? So Journey to Growth was designed to be complementary to DMC. They're doing the heavy lifting downtown, but the rest of us need to make sure that we're growing along with DMC. Currently, we're 40% dependent on one industry and one employer. I bet you can guess who that is. And I am very grateful, as we all are, because of Mayo and DMC. Mayo brought us through a recession when most of the country was suffering a lot more than we were. But that increase in dependency on healthcare and Mayo during the recession actually led Moody's Investor Service to downgrade our credit rating in Olmsted County in Rochester from stable to negative. So
because we didn't have the variety?
We didn't have the variety. We had too many eggs in one economic basket. So in 20 years, if we do nothing, the rest of us, while DMC's trucking along, we could be 60 to 65% dependent on one industry, healthcare, and one employer. So we can't sit back and let DMC do all the heavy lifting and say, they'll take care of us. And that's when, 2 years ago, 55-member steering committee got together from folks throughout the region and said, we need to do something to complement DMC so that we are growing with them. So it's intended growth, and it's focusing on 5 target sectors.
And where are you in the process right now? I mean, is there input from the public to get involved?
Oh, there will be a ton of, not just input. We're not looking for input, we're actually looking for people to roll up their sleeves and get on board. At the end of this, we will have 10 committees. We'll have 2 co-chairs per committee, and hopefully about 500 plus strong volunteers that will be part of all of those committees.
The target growth sectors, right?
Yes.
That's where we start. Computer system design and production, food processing, manufacturing, convention and tourism, and medical technology. So these are growth industries that you are projecting will be fruitful, bear fruit in our region.
Absolutely, and that wasn't just something that the steering committee came up with. They conducted a national search for a consulting group, Market Street, that did all of the analysis and research that created the Journey to Growth plan. They've been successful in other areas in the country with these similar plans. And this was the information we got back from the research and analysis that provides the most growth as a region, with agriculture, with our transportation equipment, all of these capabilities and companies that we have in the region. This has the most opportunity for growth.
That's interesting. And sorry, I'm looking at these things and not talking to you. There's a website we have that'll explain much more. This is your website.
Absolutely.
Why don't you give us the address? We'll put it on the screen.
Yes, it's www.raedi.com. So it's ready.com. And right on the home page, you'll see Journey to Growth on the left side. It has the entire plan, all of the analysis and research, how we came up with the target sectors, and what the community said. We did do tons of interview and public surveys.
Where's your funding?
That's a great question, Eric.
We only have 30 seconds.
I'll put my pitch out right now. We do not have funding as some other plans do. We need funding. We not only need folks at the table that are volunteering their time, but we need some of the bigger entities, the organizations that stand to see the most fruit bared from this, to step up and help support this plan for 5 years. Currently, we're looking at our ready investors, and we have not raised their investment in the ready investing, but we are asking them to step up on the journey to growth side, because we do need to fund this plan. In 5 years, we're estimating it will be a little over $2 million, which really pales in comparison to some of the numbers we've been hearing in the news lately.
Well, it's money well spent, sounds like. Heather
Absolutely.
Holmes, thank you very much for educating us
Thank you for having me.
This ambitious program.
Queue up your own comments for On Cue and send them to us at onq@ksmq.org. On Cue is a production of KSMQ Television in Austin, nonprofit public television.